happens to many different people. I know it's a bit of a wide statement there. But I mean, a lot of your classical Indian music could be described as jazz because it's improvising in solos built up on scales, which is very much sort of what your music's all about. In fact, a lot of guys in the UK now are starting to get involved a lot more with Indian music to incorporate it into their styles to sort of help expand it. So jazz is really a huge mix of fusions of music, you know, African music and even rock and roll. There's everything in there, and then you sort of build upon it and take out what you want from it, really. But predominantly it's improvised music.
That statement, as loaded as it may sound, is true. It's very difficult to state where jazz begins and where it ends. So said Duke Ellington. The scope being so large, it was not very difficult for jazz to blow its horn here in India as well. It took time, but it came.
Well, Bombay started it in 1978 and we followed in 1984 in association with Bombay. We didn't have enough jazz. That's the main reason. It's growing since then and quite happy at the current situation. We've had 2 full houses. This is day 3 and we've got about 20 tickets left. We expect a full house again today.
And though audiences and fans included were all raving about the likes of Cafe Du Sport and the Jake Frere Band, what really got to us was the overwhelming talent that India had to offer in its own backyard. Which is why day 3 of the Utsav became essential for us to explore the idea behind the Utsav and its inception.
What is very heartening is to see that in these last couple of festivals, a lot of the younger people have started to attend. And that, I think, is a very positive sign for the jazz scene in India. There are some very, very talented Indian musicians who are coming up now. I mean, one we'll be hearing tonight, Amit Heri. He's playing with Ramamani, who's a legend of sorts.
And though they say jazz fans are on an average more affluent than the run-of-the-mill mullet-impaired AC/DC fans who control vital sections of the janitorial and 30-minute oil change industries, these are stereotypes.
Okay, say you have Channel V and you have MTV and you have you have a rock hour, whatever. Jazz, doesn't have such a thing. Even if you had 1 hour or even 30 minutes a week, say like on a Thursday, 30 minutes, this channel is going to air live performances of jazz or just jazz musicians. And, it's not what the audience wants you to play, it's what you give the audience, So if you're a producer and if you push the music onto the audience, if you start educating the audience, if you throw it out there, they're going to take it. It's not out there. So that's why, it's not elitist at all.
So with that said, we look forward for the next week and discover more precisely India's roots with jazz and the huge contribution it has made to the world of jazz, knowingly or unknowingly.